Hello, everyone. Welcome to Just Invest Today. And today we're talking about the Chinese government trying to regulate Alibaba, stop anti monopoly practices in China. So, this is huge news right now, just coming out. And I feel like the government is really trying to handle all these huge companies like Tencent, like JD, like Alibaba. They're really just trying to regulate this. And this is all started back when Jack Ma had an interview and he was kind of dissing the regulators, saying that they don't understand how to think forward. They're trying to stop business opportunities. They're not seeing the future. And he basically had an interview, so he's basically dissing regulators of the Chinese government. So what do you think is going to happen when one of the richest people in China comes out and says that? The government is going to be like, okay, you're not doing what we want. You're discussing business practices and stuff that we don't like. So we're gonna have a stop to you. We're gonna force you to kind of obey my commands because remember, the government is so strong in China. Like you can't go against it. It's impossible. So Jack May doing that was a huge mistake. And then this all started with the Ant Group trying to close that down. He tried to do an IPO of his fintech services, and then he stopped it. The government just excise just stopped that IPO. So this is what's happening in China, and I'm not sure if we should be worried about it or we should kind of see over it because think about it right now. Remember, in the USA, they're doing the same thing with Facebook, with Google. They're doing the exact same thing. They're trying to bring them to court, see what they're doing, and then see if they're doing any monopoly type of practices. Are they too big? So when you really think about it, is it gonna affect Facebook and Google? That's how I'm kind of looking at it. Even though the share price has dropped crazy, 15 percent or 12%, this has to, I think it's gonna bounce back. I think in the long run, I know China is trying to stop all the monopolies and all that stuff like that, but I still think that Alibaba, JD, Tencent are going to be still strong companies moving forward. Um, how much is the government is going to affect it? I'm not too sure, but I to be transparent. I have a position in Alibaba, and I'm still thinking maybe I should buy more at these prices now that it's dropped, or I should wait a little bit longer to buy some shares of Alibaba. And remember, this is not financial advice, but this is what I'm thinking about. But this is such a huge news. So the Chinese regulators came out and basically said that Alibaba has bad practices. It has a saying in Alibaba, choose one of two, which is telling its business partners, you only can choose me, you cannot choose the competitors. And if you choose the competitors, then we're gonna stop business with you, which is huge because if you think about it, you don't want to stop business with Alibaba. You need Alibaba because there's so many merchants to consumers there. That's the hugest network. So if you try to go to another competitor, then you're just stopping so much of your revenue at Alibaba. So they're saying they're trying to force merchants to just use their site and just use their platform. So when we think about these investing practices, we got to think about what's the worst case scenario in this. The government has more regulations on Alibaba, so you got to approve your acquisitions and all that type of stuff before you make them. Is that the worst case scenario, or they get fined? What is it? Last time they got fined, it was only what, $77,000. That's nothing to Alibaba. Um, what else? If we can think of other scenarios, right? That they have to maybe sell some of their business, which is kind of bad. Maybe they sell partial of their business to other competitors or kind of split them up, which could be probably bad for Alibaba. But when we think of Alibaba, they do so much acquiring of companies. They don't care. They're in the financial fintech. They're trying to go into healthcare. They're in film. They're just everywhere. They're in e-commerce. They're in fashion. Alibaba is just trying to be the best, strongest company ever. Like if they were actually allowed to just reign free, they would like control so much. Even if they have these restrictions on Alibaba, like Alibaba is still a cash generating machine. So even with these restrictions, it's still gonna grow 20%, 30% into the future. So I still think the worst case scenario isn't that bad. And the thing that we gotta worry the most is we don't understand kind of how Exide thinks, the Chinese government thinks. I can't see it stopping the company or like delisting the company. Like that's the worst thing that could happen, and that could just hammer the shares. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Like that's just too far off from what I think, even though maybe it's a possibility. But I see Alibaba like bouncing back from this. What do you guys think about this? Like, do you think Alibaba is just gonna go downhill from now? Do you think they're gonna bounce back? Do you think the government is gonna step in, try to split them up? Because the government is really trying to regulate it. Like that's like their goal for next year. So how much is this gonna affect their business? If you guys like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.